My throat is absolutely killing me, so I'm going to try and keep this as short and concise as I can. I don't like Nintendo. I don't really like the games on Nintendo, and I don't particularly like the people who play on Nintendo consoles, to be honest. I think they are probably the second worst platform fanboys, to be honest. Just under the people who play mobile. And I'm not saying that because they're annoying on Twitter or anything. I think it's just because the amount of bullshit they accept and the amount of bullshit that they'll happily still pay for pisses me off, because it kind of makes the whole industry worse as a result, as, you know, people will copy the successful ones and all that. So, some news came out that the Switch has sold more than the PS4 has in Japan. And I was just talking in a thread, and it just turned into a massive circle jerk about how, PlayStation's still really great and everything. So I just stopped responding. But this is pretty serious. This is pretty big news. Let me explain why. Now, the people who saying this isn't big news is because Nintendo handhelds have always outsold Sony handhelds. Are kind of missing the point entirely. We're not comparing handhelds. We're comparing a handheld with an actual console. And the console's been out for a lot longer. Like, the PS4 has been out for about 6 years or so. Came out in 2013. So, 5-6 years. And the Switch has been out for about 2. Now, the thing about Japan is that PlayStation is pretty fucking big in Japan, if you haven't noticed. Like, most Japanese developers will normally release either exclusively on the PS4, or the PS4 first, and then everywhere else. Granted, Nintendo is also a Japanese company, so of course it's going to be bigger there as well, but a handheld console very rarely sells as well as an actual console. Like, barring a few exceptions, like the Switch or the DS. Like, this rarely ever happens. So now comes the question that I've been asking myself, and hopefully you've been asking yourself as well. What are Xbox and Sony going to do about it? They have two options, really. Either one, the PS5 and the Xbox 2? Xbox One 2? The next generation of consoles are either going to be bigger and beefier, or they're going to be weaker, and they're going to have a fucking shitty little portable adapter thing to it. Like how you can dock your Switch, or you can connect your Wii U to, fuck knows. Let's talk about the first one. Let's say the next generation of consoles are going to be super fucking powerful, super big and super loud, and, you know, have all these, no gimmicks or anything. It's just it's basically a Mac. Basically a MacBook. But instead of Apple, it's Sony or Microsoft. Now, this leads to a few problems. One, there's the price. It's either going to have to be super fucking expensive, which not very many people will want to buy, or two, they'll have to sell it at a loss and be kind of money grabbing to sort of recuperate the losses, you know? You'll see not as many sales, online might be more expensive, controllers and adapters and all of that shit might cost more, etc., etc. So, if they make it more powerful, your games will run better, sure, but everything else will probably be a lot more expensive. Now, let's look at the other alternative. They try and hop on the bandwagon of being portable and everything. The problem with that is, well, the closest example we have to Microsoft trying that is with the Windows Phone. And if you know anything about the Windows Phone, you will know that it is possibly the worst thing to have ever been created. Sony might have a bit of a chance though, like, what's it called? The Vita and the PS Portable, PSP, like, they were pretty good. Like, they sold nowhere near as much as Nintendo handhelds do, but they were still pretty solid gaming devices, like, with quite a lot of exclusives and all that. So the next portable PlayStation might survive, but Windows just shouldn't bother, because Windows can't do it. Although I don't say this, I don't spread this news with a smile on my face and a song in my heart, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't particularly like handheld games that much. Like, handheld mobiles, like, they always have to make too many sacrifices for it to be worth it, in my opinion, for the portability. Granted, the tech is getting better and better, but at the same time, the console and PC hardware tech is also getting better and better, so handhelds will probably always lag behind in terms of what they're actually capable of. And I don't think it should have as big of a place in the market as they do, because if everything has to fit on one of these, or a slightly bigger one of these with joypads and stuff, the games are going to be worse as a result. Like, there's a reason we haven't got that many good mobile games. It's because the games don't have to be good. They just have to be better than all of the other drivel on the platform. And that's not what we should be aspiring to do. We should be aspiring to be making, fucking high art. We should all be trying to make, like, the next Half-Life 2s or Metal Gear Solids, or what's another good game? Give me a second, let me think. I want to say Skyrim, but Skyrim really pisses me off. The next Fallout 2, that's one. The next Fallout 2. Or the next Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Even though that's getting a sequel next year, which I'm still so fucking hyped for. I cannot put it into words. Although that's just what I personally think about it. Like, if the masses want worse games that they can carry around in their pocket instead of having to sit down and play, then they have every right to buy those things. And the people who make them have every right to, like, fit that supply. Like, I'm not saying handhelds should disappear. What I'm just trying to say is that I am not happy about this news because I'm not a fan of handheld gaming. I am kind of tilted at there being more Switches than PS4s, because I don't like the idea of exclusives very much, but a lot of PlayStation exclusives have been what I just described. Like, granted, 3 of those examples I said were PC exclusives, but Metal Gear Solid, at least the good ones, were only available on the PlayStation. Or, actually, they got, like, ports and stuff, but usually to only other PlayStation platforms, other PlayStation consoles. There was, like, HD collection of Metal Gear Solid. There was the, pretty sure 3 was ported to one of the handhelds. But I'm ranting, and my throat is slowly hurting more and more, so I'm going to call this video done, and give a huge thank you to my 2 top-tier patrons, Stolen Dragoon and Ori Main, and you will see me in the next video. See you later.